Nah. You know what time it is. It's time to glaze ReZero more from, who's this? Mr. YozakuraSensei. Ooh, Mission Yozakura. I remember that anime, guys? I think it's a fine anime. It's just unfortunate that people did not care about it in my channel. But hey, let's check out this video.
This season of anime has absolutely knocked expectations out the park. New shows, returning shows, remakes, works of art. We are surrounded by
Arcane, I'm missing out on this. Does this count as anime? I mean, it's an animation, but it's not from Japan. But yeah, I think I've seen season 1. You guys should check out Arcane if you haven't.
so much consistent output that it can be a bit overwhelming. I don't think any of us are surprised, as fall tends to be the jackpot time of the year, and
Is it actually? I would have to go back last year and the year before. Like, I've only done reactions for about like 2 to 3 years now, so we had like 2 to 3 falls. But summer felt a little empty. Maybe because the flavor of our channel is, you know, power fantasy and isekai, and summer this year was mostly rom-com and more slice of life and that kind of shows. But this season of anime, compared to, let's say, what happened in like winter 2024, we got Solo Leveling happening at that time, right? I think 100 Girlfriend was also airing at that time. I'm not completely sure. January was pretty packed, and then spring, right after winter, spring came. I remember Kaiju 8 and a bunch of other notable animes, and this isn't even to forget like Ranmaryu's Healing Magic or like Instant Death or, you know, Level 99 Villainous. I forget if those were winter actually. I'm getting it all mixed up. Summer felt like the most emptiest, and fall does feel very thick right now.
when deciding what stands out the most, the results have been pretty obvious. Dawn has been absolutely crushing it, both with its bread and butter chaotic encounters and with the emotions. Newcomers around the world were absolutely backhanded with the
Absolutely. It's been a while since we've had such a wide appealing show that hits every demographic. Last time I feel like something like this happened was Frieren, right? Frieren is such an anime that anybody could enjoy. I'm not saying Dandadan has reached Frieren tier in terms of like exposure and general good consensus, but Dandadan is so good. Dandadan, ReZero are probably one of the, like, they're definitely top 2, right, of this season for me. Danmachi Season 5, I know a lot of people aren't keeping up with it. I think that JC staff is doing such a good job with that anime. What are some other really notable animes right now? Ranma. I think that Mappa is killing it. I forget if it's Madhouse or Mappa, but Ranma, the remake, is actually so good too.
Gut-wrenching narrative from episode 7, and you think that the episode alone would have made it anime of the season, or at least that's what we would have thought had there not been another series worthy to stand alongside.
Season 3 hasn't completed, and it's hard to compare ReZero to everything else because of the nature of Season 3. We got 2 arcs being adapted, arc 5 and 6 maybe, right? It's supposed to maybe be 38 episodes total. We got 8 episodes in October, and we're gonna get 8 episodes in February to conclude the arc 5. That's 16 episodes, but Season 3 may not be over yet. Then we have something so juicy and thick in the form of 22 episodes potentially for arc 6 as well. So it's kind of hard to compare ReZero to Dandadan right now. But, you know, Dandadan is 12 episodes, and I think that Dandadan will be much more recognized and memorable to a wide appealing audience of anime enjoyers due to the nature of how, again, it's the first season, and whenever you have like multiple seasons happening, people get filtered out. And on top of that, ReZero is not that mainstream of a niche. Isekai is getting more and more popular, but I think Dandadan is way more wide appealing, so I have to give it to Dandadan this season.
Isekai has had a pretty good momentum over these past couple of years now. Finest Assassin, Eminence in Shadow, Mushoku, even Shield Hero made a
Yo, Finest Assassin getting the recognition it deserves.
solid comeback, but we must not forget who remains at the top. It may have taken longer than any of us would have liked, but ReZero finally stepped back into the ring to play once more. To prepare for this new season, I ended up going back to rewatch Season 2, and I was reminded on how damn good this series can be. A lot of the narrative came off clearer come the second go around, and till this day, Choose Me still remains as one of the greatest episodes in this entire medium. At least to me, everything that episode stood for concluded so emotionally triumphant, and come Season 3, I had to wonder if they could surpass such a bar.
I don't think it surpassed the bar just yet, because again, we haven't gotten the complete story. But like the Capella episode was fucking cracked. Subaru's speech was also amazing. Those two episodes stand out a lot to me, and I think it's like top tier caliber.
Far as the layout of this season's plot, alongside new developments, a new setting, and a centralized heap of our characters, this season was already a massive step up. Having to be stuck in a forest for so long will definitely make you appreciate the scenery of Fristella. Water flows.
Absolutely. Being stuck in the sanctuary for an entire fucking season was so suffocating, and yes, we went to the mansion a couple times, right? But man, having like the entire season 2 just be at the sanctuary felt incredibly suffocating, and it just felt like slow, even though a lot of shit's happening. But it's due to the nature of, again, just being stuck there. And I think that also kind of captures like the overall mood and the tone of season 2 as well. So maybe it goes hand to hand. But Pristella, such a cool place, so vibrant, so active, and 4 archbishops showing up, right? 4 archbishops and all the royal candidates. It feels like Arc 3, remember the Whitewell subjugation? It feels something like that times 10 in terms of like all the allies are gathered, the enemies are even stronger. What's gonna happen?
Throughout as if it were the blood of the city itself, and it would appear that for the time being, the anime is on track to age nicely. Both with the scenery and the character designs, the difference is night and day from how much the art direction has improved. However, I'm not here to go on and on about production details today. Sticking with the meat and bones, I feel that there are 3 main avenues to sink your teeth into this season, starting with the fact that there's been a lot of momentum shift with the royal candidates.
Yes.
The season does introduce a time jump, and in between that, Felt and Priscilla notably has made a lot of progress in opposite directions.
And that pisses me off. Because of the discrimination against half-elves, what Emilia has done, I bet is way more than anybody has done. I don't know what the Sun Princess did over the last year. Apparently she's gathering a lot of followers. I think she got married and might have killed her husband. I'm not too sure. But it's crazy that Priscilla's in the lead, even though Emilia's camp, right? Think about it, what Subaru has done. White Whale subjugation into Betelgeuse, right? Archbishop of Sloth and the White Whale. Like, these are like catastrophe tier, calamity tier difficulties that Lunica wasn't able to accomplish. We did so much, and then we go to the Sanctuary, and even if people don't know of the Sanctuary and how hard it is to liberate it, we dealt with the Great Rabbit, right? Like, there's so many things that Emilia Camp has taken credit for. And you telling me that Felt rounding up all the fucking poors in the slums is somehow, like, better? That's unreal to me.
And while Anastasia and Emilia's camp has been pretty steady, Krush has taken the L the most. Summoning all these candidates, though one ended up inviting themselves to one location, is a bold move. You have to wonder what Anastasia's real intention is, but
she knew it was gonna get invaded. There is no fucking shot she collected all the royal candidates on a whim to give them gifts. No. I think that she has some sort of future sight. If not future sight, like the gospel, maybe some sort of like networking informant that gave up information that, like, you know, Pristella's gonna get under attack. 4 archbishops are coming. You better get ready.
But I feel that's more to come looking at the wind down of later events. Perhaps I'm overthinking it, but a merchant always has something to gain. Also,
I don't think we're overthinking. I think that's exactly what's happening.
So I'm gonna throw this in there now, but I am anime only, so try not to be that guy in the comments. Secondly, we're getting some family drama among those who bear considerable strength. Lately,
Good googly moogly.
it would appear that dealing with some of the most OP characters leave the option of either sealing them or breaking them emotionally.
Yeah. That's it's tricky handling super OP characters, right? Shiba Inu, and you need to give the audience what they want. Gojo popped off. Reinhardt kind of popped off against Sirius, but that was an overall L at the end, right? And once you, but these OP characters, because they can solve everything by themselves, and the story would be boring if they did. And it's just frustrating, right? It's just like, if they solve everything by themselves, then it's boring. And if they get nerfed, if they, you know, are sealed away, if they're benched, if there's some other bullshit happening behind the scenes of why Reinhardt cannot, you know, interact with everybody, it's really frustrating. But I get it, it's a delicate balance with these kind of characters.
An area where strength cannot protect. Garfield having to confront the truth that his mother is not only alive, but without her previous memories, is a harder gut punch than Invisible Providence. On top of that,
Is Invisible Providence much of a gut punch? I feel like if anybody, Super is the one feeling it the most. Like, that punch, I don't think it's really doing shit compared to the amount of recoil Super gets.
Seems to be having a good old time in his subconscious, torturing him over the results of his battle with her and abusing his unstable headspace.
I love it. I'm so glad that Elsa is back, one way or the other. Even if she's not alive, she is in the delusions of Garfield right now. Garfield feels like a battle shonen main character, struggling with the inner beast. I love it.
There's also another layer of defeat, but I'll mention that in a moment. Reinhard is also going through it, not only with Wilhelm, but his bottom one alcoholic of a father is no help, instigating grief that goes back to the White Whale conflict that led to Theresa's death. Wilhelm already had his own mistakes to fix, given the context surrounding the divine protection, but dear old Heinkel ain't making it easy on anybody. Man,
Heinkel plotted this shit, right? Is it confirmed by now? But I still believe that Heinkel definitely made the Felt kidnapping 15 years ago a thing to get rid of Wilhelm so that Theresia could be vulnerable against the White Whale subjugation. Like, nah, Heinkel planning shit, bro. That guy's a fucking thief.
Making it easy on anybody. Man, who would have thought that this important family with such deep ties into the current system would have so much personal baggage? It almost feels like I've seen this somewhere before. Anywho, this family...
What anime is this? I don't recognize. What is this? What is that? This isn't JJK. What is this, guys? You guys know? I got no clue what anime this one is. I feel like it's some sort of battle shonen. It's My Hero Academia? Okay. Okay.
Anywho, this family drama is brought to you by none other than Miss Problematic, because it's not a party unless the one who starts the beef is present. But hey, at least we get to see Al again with his beautiful shiny helmet. Surely the ReZero team knows they've gotta do him right this
POV, you're Asarata.
year, given they've already butchered so much of his character. Finally, we're coming to the real situation at hand with discussing the matters of the witch cult. Season 2's premiere was the most unfortunate jumping coming off a major battle. Krush got off lucky in comparison to Rem, but that opened up avenues of cooperation. Both the Emilia and Krush camp had a stake in the matter, which could play into a IOU for Anastasia to hold in her back pocket for later. Lots of tough pills to swallow, but everything is very engaging, and thankfully Liliana is here to brighten up the mood a little bit.
Wow, somebody that actually appreciates episode 1 to its fullest. This is nice. He actually understands and loves ReZero, huh? Bulk of the content so far was mainly focused on episode 1, and I think episode 1 was actually really good. A lot of people are upset about it because it was 90 minutes of a lot of exposition and dialogue. But that shit is just like building on the world and just like sets the stage for a bigger pop-off.
Oh hey, there's a bandaged lunatic who definitely isn't an archbishop with a hostage. Shouldn't somebody, like, I don't know, boom her off the face of the earth? This entire scene at first made me side-eye the crowd, because surely somebody was feeling that this situation is weird as hell, but by the time you enter the area, it was already over.
And after the song, we'll have a nice chat.
Ugh,
I don't know about you,
English
Super,
dub.
but I feel like you should grab some snacks for us to enjoy while we're doing that, don't you?
And here we go. Considering how much effort it took to bring down one archbishop back in season 1, putting 4 of them in the same place is kinda crazy. Just 2 of them was able—
It is fucking crazy. 4 of them. But we're not alone, right? This time, we don't just have Julius to help us. And a bit of, you know, Crucius camp. We have like Crucius camp. We have Crucius camp honestly is just fucking L's right now. Felix sucks. So does Crush. In terms of how they're represented in the story, and it hurts me that Crush got this early lead in season 1. And after that, what happens when you get an early lead in battles, guys? Someone else gets a flashback and then you lose. Crush right now is kind of suffering from that kind of syndrome. And Felix also just can't do shit against all these curses, authorities. Crush's magic is really, really upsetting, but that's what Tapi wants to do. What else is it? Anastasia's camp. They got Ricardo, right? Ricardo's pulling up. Julius is there. I'm a little bit worried about Joshua, the brother that had the letter regarding gluttony, and nobody's mentioned Joshua, which makes me feel like gluttony might have just erased him. Who knows? But Ricardo's sick, right? It kind of sucks that Mimi, Hetero TV, they're kind of out right now because they all share that divine protection and they all take kind of like shared damage. Mimi just taking the brunt of it. Priscilla's camp, Priscilla just handles it by herself, which is so sick, right? And Liliana's pretty much in her camp right now, intermittently. And Al, this guy is just so fucking suspicious. It's crazy that Break Time obviously revealed the secret that we should have known back in season 1, that we are brothers beyond the Great Waterfall, right? Isekai characters. And the parallels, the similarities that Al has with Subaru is unreal. To the point everyone's like, Al is Subaru from a different timeline, which I could buy it up, but it could be the greatest misdirection of all time too. What else is there? And then Amelia's camp, right? Amelia's camp is chilling. Amelia's kind of taken. Subaru is trying to do his best. Biko is just passed out. Hopefully she returns in a bit. And Felt, Reinhardt, Felt camp, they ain't really do shit, huh? Felt is just on the top of a fucking roof with Dumb, Dumber, and Dumbest. And Reinhardt just got bailed out by Otto. Felt camp hasn't done shit this season. Reinhardt kind of popped off for like episode 2 against Sirius, but after that, nothing. Which camp has had the most amount of like, I guess, credit given in terms of like contributions to this siege on Pristella? Might be Amelia camp. I think the speech goes a long way and it gathers everybody, right? I think so. Like, there hasn't been any significant kills for our side take out the enemies just yet, right? I think it's Amelia camp.
Able to do enough damage last season, but now you got Petalgeese's Admirer, which by the way is a very cool connection with the sloth factor and an absolute pain in the ass to deal with. Looking at it now, bringing all these characters in one location, though unintentional for this purpose, is necessary for the sake of evening out the odds. The stakes are at its highest they've ever been. A city under siege threatened by the very water that contributes to its history, which remains deep below. Emilia becoming a bride? Well, good to know some.
That water thing, right? Why was Pristilla designed like this? A trap. I was thinking like dragon, witches, and now it's confirmed that a certain witch drowned here a long time ago after getting trapped, and it was the Witch of Pride, Typhon.
Somebody has their priorities straight. The one thing I do really like about this arc is that this is a season where it's imperative for Subaru to not constantly die. He tends to be able to work with some serious Batman level prep time in order to come out on top, but
right now we are just like raw dogging it. Aside from episode 2, where we just had so many repetitions of Return by Death, we ain't gonna die, bro. And there's so many different things happening to him. Like, the most significant thing, obviously, is the dragon's curse that we received from Capella.
This conflict doesn't give him days and nights to think. With so many battles happening all over the place, a reset could end up being a bad thing, but at the same time, no reset could still leave an unfavorable outcome in motion. Whatever happens this season past episode 2, he's had to grit his teeth and bear the results of the outcome, which I very much appreciate.
And a lot of people are upset that he doesn't abuse his Return by Death mechanic because, remember, season 2, straight bet, bro's not just gonna end himself because he promised that he will try his best in every single run.
Thus, in my opinion, constantly having to get a redo on fights of this level would be kinda boring. You want stuff to stick, and oh, has it stuck. By half the core, both Mimi and Beatrice were down for the count, essentially debuffing Subaru and adding even more weight on Garfield's shoulders. No matter how careful the crew may move,
I think Kiritaka is pretty much dead at this point, right?
this was not going to be an easy fight. The Archbishops truly just have that dog in them, and I don't think it's crazy to say either that they may be the best isekai antagonist group out these days. Feel free to
Best isekai antagonist group, the Archbishops. Yeah, they're sick. The way that they're written and what kind of characters are representing them, right? Like Sirius being possibly Fortuna. That's fucking crazy to me, right? Yeah, they're really well written. It's like, you know how like everyone loved the Akatsuki back in Naruto time, right? They're like a villain group. They're so sick. It's like a group and there's rankings and shit, right? We take an example like that into like isekai animes. Eminence and Shadow. Round Table, Knights of the Round Table. No, we don't even know them. They're pretty much a joke. we don't even know all of them. We just saw a couple of them. It's just joke characters. What else is there? What other like big antagonist group factions are there in isekai animes? Mushoku Tensei, there really isn't this antagonist like villain group, but there is like, you know, the powers, right? The gods of like different, you know, categories, which is really sick. What else is there? Konosuba doesn't really have anything like that. Overlord, haven't seen it. Kumo desu ka? I don't think it really exists other than, you know, the demon lords like people. What other isekais? Shield Hero, I don't really remember. What other isekai we watching right now? Tensura. Oh yeah, good call. Tensura. Tensura's a bit different, right? Because we are part of the Demon Lord Council. But yeah, I think the Archbishops are really, really great in terms of, again, that example with the Akatsuki.
Agree or disagree in the comments. Capella, of course, absolutely stole the show in both VA performance and in character. You gotta love how Teppei manages to take one of the 7 deadly sins for.
What did you say?
Feel free to agree or disagree in the comments. Capella, of course, absolutely stole the show in both VA performance and in character. You gotta love how Teppei
That's crazy.
absolutely stole the show in both VA performance and in character. You gotta love how Teppei
Teppei, bro. I love that. Teppei Nagatsuki. Yes, my favorite author.
manages to take one of the 7 deadly sins personified and add even more of a twist to them. Definitely a fan favorite this season.
Yeah, and I don't think this is the first time that the 7 deadly sins has been used to create factions and groups of people that might be antagonists, right? Even in like Full Metal Alchemist, right? Haven't seen it, but you guys constantly tell me like lust. Like, remember that one like lust example we saw in like a ReZero video? Like, clearly the 7 deadly sins exist in Full Metal Alchemist too, but it is cool that like these themes of the different sins and how each archbishop just completely are consumed by it. But sometimes they're not, like Betelgeuse, where he's a very interesting one, where he's more diligent, the opposite of sloth, the virtue of discipline is there. It really makes these characters way more deep. Also, the fact that they don't even get along with each other, right? They're constantly fucking beefing, yet they're united under a single goal, most likely through Pandora.
Who unfortunately removed Krush even further out of the equation. Listen, I'm not sure what Teppei has planned for the Krush camp down the line, but I expect her to have the greatest comeback of all time in the.
Yeah, if you are setting Krush up for these kind of things just by fucking her over and over again, I hope Felix too, that in season 4, season 5, beyond that, she's gonna have a triumphant moment where all of the setup, all of these L's that she's taking is, you know, we're biding our time right now, and she's gonna come out on top, or maybe Teppei just hates Krush and Felix, and they'll continuously just take L's.
Later portions of the story. This woman is in hell. Jesus Christ, somebody help her. Wilhelm having to fight his wife is even more rough knowing the family drama, but hey, at least Reinhardt is here to, oh gosh, damn it, Heinkel. It's crazy how not calling him over in the 3rd loop led to him being pretty much AFK for majority of the battle. Not a bad way to sideline him at all and let everyone else get in their round 1.
Yeah, again, it makes sense, right? It makes sense that Reinhardt is benched right now. It's just so fucking frustrating. But hey, end the season, you know, the split core of season 3. Reinhardt is here with Subaru. We're here to save Amelia. I swear to God, if Reinhardt fucks off after this, like if he, like the Regulus versus Reinhardt better be so good. If he delivers an overwhelming, you know, victory, and it doesn't even have to be overwhelming, but as long as he wins and clutches for us, I don't really mind if he's benched for the rest of the season.
Even Priscilla was showing out a bit, and I ended up having to put some stocks into her because she definitely knows how to use that Yang sword.
Yeah, in terms of every role candidate, not talking about the camp members, but the actual candidates, Priscilla's probably the strongest, right? I don't know, because Amelia is insane. Amelia, as you've seen in Memory Snow, right? Sorry, Frozen Bond. Bro, Child Amelia, those powers are fucking cracked. So I think Emilia still is stronger than Priscilla, but Priscilla can handle herself.
Plus, we all saw that cut in the OP. Even with so much chaos, ReZero makes sure to never skip a beat with details all the way back in Season 1 coming back. I won't lie, I kinda forgot that Subaru
Yeah, me too. That imagery of the dragon, which is from Capella, and now the Hellhounds, back in Arlan Village Arc 2. I forgot the curses, and it's a cocktail of curses where you have the dogs and you got the dragon all fighting for her, I don't know, taking over Subaru. And what does that really mean at the end of the day? Are we just stacking curses? Curseception? Is this gonna give Subaru more unique powers?
was already cursed, but it makes sense as to why he wasn't affected by Capella's blood. Two negative forces canceling each other out only leaves a neutral positive.
Whoa. Is this your opinion? Or is this a fact? Because I do understand -1 times -1 equals 1. But like, I don't know if he's saying this as like, he's an enemy only though. This is his opinion, right? Because my interpretation of this is they're just kind of fighting over like possession over Subaru. I don't think each are canceling each other out. If it's canceling each other out, then we wouldn't have any of the side effects of the cursed properties, right? Our arms, our legs would not look like this or regenerate. I thought that this is just to show us that, hey, remember, one layer of curse already exists and we're putting another layer in there, and they're kind of just all, it's like a cocktail of curses all trying to take over Subaru.
Tepe, give me Invisible Providence kick and my life is yours. We did not overlook that detail from the key visual.
Yeah, that was a really cool detail, right? It's just like, oh, is Subaru gonna lose his leg? Oh shit, he actually did. If dude, if Subaru has like Invisible Providence where instead of a punch, he just goes like this, I think it'd be so funny. Invisible fuck you to Regulus.
Life is yours. We did not overlook that detail from,
but they couldn't see it. It's actually very pointless. The move is invisible. Why would you fucking finger somebody? Well, of course we can see it. Yeah, that's fucking pointless.
the key visual. Can't say I'm surprised to see that once again, the highlight of the season was an episode of the best dialogue ReZero can offer with a speech. Just like Choose Me, you can tell that this moment was written with a golden pen in an effort to connect to the people. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a speech approached like this in a way where it feels like the man sat down and asked himself, how would I like to be talked to in a moment of crisis?
Right, the whole like appealing to the average person rather than someone super OP like Reinhardt giving a speech, which I'm sure would have worked well, but having the common person's perspective so that everyone is like, oh, the person talking right now is just like me. And now they're encouraging me, right? That really resonates within them.
This stuff right here means something looking at how far Subaru's character has grown. If there is a statement that this season has made clear, it's that he is a knight of no sacrifice. One who walks the path of carrying his heroic delusions and
heroic reveries, but you know, anime said heroic delusions. Source material apparently is very firm on the delusion being reverie.
And to make it reality. In conclusion, this half was absolute cinema. I understand that Arc 5's second half is going to be the real feast, but what this core managed to achieve is nothing to shy away from.
Exactly. Remember, this is just a setup. The 8 episodes we got were essentially set up with moments of popping off, like, you know, the Capella episode and Subaru's speech, but dude, the real meat of this shit, the real pop-up, like think about season 2. Back at the Sanctuary, right? We've only watched up till like straight bet happening with Roswell. All we've done is like suffer. Not really, but like I'm trying to say that the second half of season 2, how heroic and triumphant it is, the highs are so high. I am very excited to see the conclusion of this.
Either. Just about everything you expect from ReZero continues to get better, and I really hope that this second half does go as hard as it's hyped up to be. The stage is set, the matchups are decided, the wedding is crashed, and in these final 8 episodes on the horizon, it's winner take all. To summarize, man, was this a great return for the king. With that, it's gonna bring me to the end of this video. As always, thank you very much for watching, and make sure to leave all your thoughts about this first half in the comments section down below. Be well out there until we meet again in the next video.
Thank you, Mr. YozakuraSensei. That was a well put summary of season 3 and why it's been great. And I have no doubt that White Fox and their close connections with Tape will make ReZero, the counterattack arc that's going to come in February, very good. Got a couple months left, right? But hey, there's plenty of things to look forward to. But hey, here's the link to the video. Please go give Mr. YozakuraSensei a like. Sub to his channel if you haven't. I'll see you next time.